Hello, children of God. I am here to give you a prophetic word, which is also a prophetic warning. And the basis of this warning comes from Deuteronomy chapter 13. Now, I was listening to the audio Bible in the book of Deuteronomy, and it got to this passage where it was pretty much encouraging us and admonishing us to stay away from other gods, to avoid worshiping other gods, and to avoid and to stay away from people who may try to entice you into worshiping other gods. And certainly, one of the first things that came to my mind was the New Age religion, or the New Age version of Christianity. And I can definitely encourage you to take a look through the entire book of Deuteronomy. It may be easy for many of us, me included, to listen to the audio Bible, and it helps us to get through it a lot quicker, and it helps us to understand it a lot better. So I'll definitely encourage you to check out the book of Deuteronomy. And, you know, all throughout the book, it's talking about God bringing the children of Israel into the land that He has promised. And He gave them stern and strong warnings, saying that when you get there, do not forget the Lord your God. Do not raise up idols. Do not worship other gods. Do not allow sinners to entice you. Do not follow other people. Do not watch what other people are doing and try to mimic it. It also speaks about not worshiping God in the way that other people worship their gods. So this can mean anything from the Bible, Deuteronomy specifically noted human sacrifices. He does not want us to worship Him in the way that other people worship their gods. He doesn't want us to burn incense and burn sage and keep crystals. So the way that other people worship their gods, God is not accepting that. And He wants us to stick to His word and worship Him in the way that He instructs and commands us. So with that being said, I am going to read Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 1 through 5. Sorry about the feedback from the cars passing. But I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 13, verses 1 to 5. And if you listen carefully, if you're familiar or have ever tried or experienced New Age religion, you will definitely understand where this chapter is going. So it says, if there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder comes to pass whereof he has spoken, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the word of that prophet or dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God is testing you, to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul. You shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear Him, and keep His commandments, and obey His voice, and obey His voice, and you shall serve Him, and cleave unto Him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall perish, because he has spoken to you to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust you out of the way of the Lord, which the Lord your God has commanded you to walk in. So this is pretty much saying that if you are approached, or even if you come across a video on YouTube with people telling you about manifestation and, spiritual means of getting ahead, um, certain degrees of meditation that is outside of the word and the will of God. These things that they are speaking about, they may very well happen because the devil works in a way that if he tells you to do this particular thing in order to get money or increase or a promotion, it may very well come to pass just to prove to you or to convince you or to further entice you into turning away from God. But I assure you that the end of this is destruction. And I assure you that you will suffer more than you will gain. The price that you have to pay in order to become rich or to become prosperous by following means outside of the will of God is far greater than your present circumstance. It's far greater. And you want to be careful to protect your spirit, your soul, and your mind at all costs. You do not want to be in a position where you are so dependent on these non-godly, non-biblical means that you lose your mind in pursuit of it. And you want to be careful because with this kind of practice, it starts out innocently and eventually it moves from one extreme to the next. You will find yourself studying it in deeper and in greater portions. And the more you study, the more books you read, the more audios you listen to, the more engrafted you become, the more deeper the requirements become. And you may not even notice how far you have drifted away from the Lord. And you will find that a lot of these principles, they very much incorporate God, they incorporate Jesus. But if it's not fully Jesus, it is not worth participating in at all. So I'm letting you know, according to the word, it's clearly saying that the ones that are trying to entice you and to persuade you into pursuing other gods, they will perish. So what do you think will become of you? Now I'm giving you this word as a warning and just telling you to be careful and to look out for these things. There is a way that the Lord, there are many ways that the Lord guarantees us blessings. There are many ways. So I'm going to consider this a part 1, and I'm going to return with a part 2 to this teaching. And in that part 2, we're going to explore the provisions that God has in His Word for us to prosper, for us to increase, for us to get ahead, for us to grow financially, for us to be in perfect health, for us to even be delivered out of our trouble. We're going to go through those promises that the Lord outlined in His Word, and we're also going to talk about how to get them. And believe me, you will find that it is so easy. It is so simple. Some of the principles, that is, they're so simple. And some of them just require more discipline than others. But at the end of the day, your soul is secured. Your mind is in perfect peace. And there is no greater peace than peace that comes from the Lord. And certainly, you will prosper during your sojourn here in this earth. So thank you for tuning into this video. I hope it blesses someone. I hope it causes someone to think differently about pursuing or continuing in New Age religion or some other form of spirituality that may not be conducive to them. I really hope this blesses and encourages someone. And please stay tuned for part 2. Thank you and have a great day, a great morning, a great night.